Right then, for the benefit of today's steaming, I'm going to run this Mamod SE2. This dates from around about 1948-49. It's quite an easy engine to date, as it has the regulator and a hot stamped brass engine frame, which in this particular form, because it had no countershaft on it, only existed from about 1948 to 49, when they brought in cheaper to manufacture pressed steel longer engine frames. This particular engine I've run on a number of occasions. It runs extremely well, or normally. Hopefully it will do the same today. And this is the one that I was featuring in a thread yesterday, whereby now it's attached to a period set of brass wheel tools. These are sort of bang on period, in as much as that it's quite likely that a fortunate young lad of the late 1940s, maybe just into the 50s, would have had a setup like this, where we have a brass wheeled flat base line shaft connected to two early brass wheel tools. That's the hammer and the press, or the punch, because it doesn't really press as such, it punches into a hole. All three of the accessories have cast iron pedestals and bodies. They're quite sort of coarse sand castings in terms of, you look at some of the sprues left on the pedestal of the line shaft, and the general roughness of the casting, say, of the name into the frame parts. It's quite coarse. Very much gives them a character all of their own. Not particularly common, quite sought after. These I managed to pick up quite cheaply on eBay, which was a bit of a bargain, really. And to say, the whole ensemble sits together on my normal sort of standard Meccano angle girder, 12.5 inch type, and it's connected together obviously just with Meccano strips and so on. The press on this particular one is screwed to the base. There are sort of riveted, tubular riveted type ones, though of this period the hammer all seems to be screwed to the base. Overall, say the whole setup is very much of its period. This particular line shaft has the blue oval deco, quite a crisp version of it. There's another less crisp version on the SE2. So again, possibly two different suppliers supplying the decals. But whatever the criteria was, that within the realms of the printing of that period, they are quite sort of coarse when you get up close. So some reproduction decals are just too good for their own liking, really. I mean, my own included. When I'm trying to actually roughen them up a lot more now to make them more in keeping with the technology that would have been available when they were first made. Anyway, say this engine should drive this little setup without too much trouble, I would have thought. I managed to find some bands in my toolbox today, so why not give it a good run? And so I'm just going to lubricate everything shortly. Let's say the engine itself is very much of the period, with its sort of longish arm whistle, very much the sort of the period safety valve, which is sort of got these sort of serrations and an indent or a channel running around the side. There seem to be various sort of patterns that were made at the time. And say this one's equipped with a 3-wick lamp. You'll notice that I've left enough space so that this can be slid out and lit, and just put on a little stand there, so that you can get the lamp in and out quickly. When I first made these workshops, I didn't leave enough space in between here, and only realised that you could get the lamp out with an awful lot of dicking around. So obviously this one's been left with sufficient space across here to get the lamp out without any problems. The bands not too tight, so it should run this one very well. And say overall I'm extremely pleased with this little setup, and hopefully say it will perform for the camera today. I've had a few engines recently which have decided not to play ball, and say overall very much a Meccano Mamod workshop of its time. So we're looking at around about 1948, late 1940s. So essentially this is a 60-odd-year-old setup, and with a bit of luck it should sort of perform every bit as good as it looks. So I'll stop gassing now and prepare the engine for steam.